Hello, everybody. Welcome to the program. You already know what we're sick of. I don't need to tell you. You already know who I am if you've been listening for any length of time, so I don't need to tell you that either. What I am going to tell you is that someone very close to God prophesied a long time ago in 1973. Of course, there have been others way before him, but this is very important and you need to hear it. It's going to be a little bit lengthy because there's a lot to go over. Tried to make it as brief as possible and still get everything in there. But listen to what Pastor David Wilkerson prophesied in 1973. What he said was going to happen in this country and throughout the world. And then just think for a minute. We won't really even have to take a whole minute, I don't think, because a lot of it we've already seen in the last 2.5 years. And it's still happening. It's getting worse, and there is worse to come. I mean, let me just think of it. If the things that he prophesied, and quite a few of them have already happened, are still happening, and they're getting worse, what makes you think that the rest of what he prophesied is not also going to happen? His track record's pretty good. Let me get to it. Of course, we're in the process of seeing a global depression. Yeah, we're in one, really, when I get down to the truth of it. All anybody has to do is just look around them at what's going on here and throughout the rest of the world. It is going to get much worse. It's going to be worse than anything in history, he said. It will start in Germany, spread to Japan, and then the U.S. Bankruptcy, he said, in 1973, he said that bankruptcy is going to become the norm for both big corporations as well as churches. Of course, a lot of churches have basically turned their backs on God at this point anyway. Major earthquakes are coming to the United States. Global famine is coming. It's already here, really. He said then it was coming, but it's here. Over 400 million people throughout the world are starving to death. India, China, and Russia will be particularly hard hit. That doesn't mean that any country is going to be spared. A cosmic storm will come, bringing fire in the sky and leaving a vapor trail. And I didn't say whether anything was going to come from that vapor trail or not, but I think there's probably a pretty safe assumption there that something will, and it won't be good. Tornadoes, hurricanes, and floods will be far more prevalent and will be so bad throughout the entire world that all humanity is going to see that something supernatural is going on. An outpouring of filth, he said, would come. And of course, this is already happening. Very few people still get married these days. Even fewer engage in a monogamous relationship if they are not married. He didn't say anything about this. This is what I'm talking about. Men and women, he said, will be lovers of themselves and their own pleasure. Of course, the Bible told us that was going to happen. And I don't know what you see, but I see it, that sex basically, for the most part, has become in this country and around the world, I think, for the most part, just a coping mechanism rather than a spiritual connection between two people. Rebellion in the home and children hating their parents. Liberal indoctrination into a godless form of government, in which parents teaching is called unimportant and taught by schools to be ignored. Children are taught to snitch on their parents who teach them about freedom in Christ. Those children will be placed in foster homes, a lot of them. Many parents will be so fearful of CPS everywhere, teachers, counselors, principals, that they will let their kids get away with anything that they want to do just to keep them at home. Even though there is no love and no communication coming from their children. These homes are going to be like children and parents being enemies living under a truce. A persecution of true believers, unlike anything you can imagine. Even the children will be spit on, mocked, and criticized for their belief in Christ. Ungodly lies will be spread about pastors, families, and children who truly believe. They will either endure this persecution or they will succumb to it. And the goal is the goal of Satan, and that is to bring them to their knees to succumb to it. There will be no middle ground. Now, that being said, all of that being said, the day is soon coming when there will be nothing for us to live on, literally, for the most part, other than faith. Faith is what's going to get us through to the end. Christ told us, those who endure to the end, the same shall be saved. And it's going to be our faith in Him, Holy Mother and Holy Father, that's going to get us through all this. Nothing else is going to do it. Till next time, Mr. Sick of Shit, signing out.